And here's a guy that used to be one of those shiny badges with a 6-gun. Hello, Ray, in Oregon.
Yeah, John, as you know, I'm a retired police sergeant from the California department, and I'm also one of those paper terrorists. I had a problem, and I'm hoping that maybe your audience can give me a hand.
Okay.
For the last 11 years, I've been trying to get anyone in government, in the courts, the judges, the governor of Oregon, the law enforcement people, the sheriff, to answer the question of does a fictional court or government have jurisdiction over any man, living man, breathing flesh and blood man, who has not given consent to belonging to the corporation? Well, the answer to that, of course, is not. They do not have jurisdiction.
Right.
They will not answer that question. Now, that question is the basis of liens, UCC liens that I have filed against judges and several sheriffs. Challenged the present sheriff, Gil Gilbertson of Josephine County, in his oath of office, and he defaulted on that. So
he won't. You put the question over to him. He understands the question, but refuses to answer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No one will give me an answer.
Okay.
Now, as a result of that, I filed liens against the state of Oregon and the county of Josephine back in 2003. As a result of their arresting me for a high beam violation and having no driver's license as I was traveling. I rescinded my license in 1999. So there was no license to suspend or anything.
Oh, but let me interject this.
Sure.
Because you once had a contract with the state to convert your right to a privilege. They just look at you as, well, the license is elapsed. They're not going to give you... They're not going to give you anything on, I'm the one that turned the license in. As far as they're concerned, you are just now an unlicensed driver, but you're still part of their... You've already given your assent once, so you're in there forever. Ray, do me a favor. I'm coming up on break. Please hold on, if you will. Effects of harsh drugs are... It's on this radio. I can't speak for anybody else. Ray, we got interrupted by that break. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the issue is this. For the last 11 years, I filed a valid UCC lien against the state of Oregon and county of Josephine in the amount of in excess of $27 million as a result of their incarceration. $128 days waiting trial. They threatened me with 35 to 40 years in prison as a paper terrorist. However, the whole action on the fact I did file the lien, but the lien was not tied to the court trial. It was a different issue altogether.
Right.
As a result of the trial, I went to 2 trials, and they convicted the juristic person, starting with capital letters, who was the defendant, but that's not me. And I held to that stance throughout the 2 trials, and I challenged them to prove jurisdiction over the living man, and they could not. They wouldn't answer the question. Okay.
Well, and you know why that is, right? Because if they were to rule in your favor, if the court were to recognize that they've got the corporate fictional entity in there,
right,
and not the flesh, living, breathing, and I believe in Jesus kind of man.
That's the whole issue.
Yeah, and what they are scared to death of doing is ruling correctly, because that would set a precedent.
I'll surprise them from coming down.
You better believe it.
So the upshot was it came time for sentencing, and they tried to sentence me on the 2 convictions, and I refused to accept their offer of contract because they had not proven jurisdiction over this living, breathing man. So several days later, they threw me out of jail. Their charges were in my head, and but they removed all the liens, including the lien against the state of Oregon and county of Josephine for $27 million, which was not affected with the trial at all. So they refused to show cause as to what the how they were able to remove those liens for the last 11 years. In the meantime, they keep stopping me and impounding my car, but they won't arrest me. They won't take me before a court.
They just, wait a minute, they just make you run down to the impound lot, pay the towing fee, and pay the storage fee.
It's a revenue-generating situation altogether.
Oh, Pete.
So anyway, this last lien I've got against some deputy sheriffs of Josephine County and judges and the district attorney, by the way. We're sitting on it. In the meantime, throughout the years, they give a rejection out of hand and refuse to answer any questions.
Well, let me stop you here. Now, why haven't you just sued them rather than placing liens on them? Because the flesh and blood man can still sue for a wrong that has been done to them.
How can I take it to the court where the perpetrator is the government?
I got that. But here's the problem when you start messing around with lawsuits that, well, here's one of the mechanisms they understand. It's one of their little creations. But what if you were to sue them individually for the wrongs that were committed against you rather than by way of lien? Now, I'm not saying that...
Liens are very simple. If they default, it's an automatic judgment. The judgment stands as true.
Not if they remove it. Not if they remove it.
Well, that's the criminal act. Who am I going to go to? I've gone to the state's attorney. I've gone to the FBI.
No. I got the whole picture here. I'm just saying to you, if they got the timidity, if they got the brass monkeys to turn around and dismiss a lien, which they cannot do, not lawfully.
That's right.
I would sue them individually. Every one of those police officers, every one of those judges or prosecutors, I would file lawsuits against them for the violation of my rights. Forget the fact that the court doesn't want to recognize your rights. The Constitution doesn't live in their courtrooms. Only the administrative law and only the corporate fictions they keep dragging up in front of the bench.
Right. I'm standing as a man of the sovereign people and not a member of the other government under its Constitution, which only grants you civil rights. I'm standing on unalienable rights.
Well,
that's the issue of the UCC.
Okay, and I get that as well. But they're not going to recognize that because, you're for Amendment time.
Yeah, that's my issue, John. If we can get some pressure from your audience on the governor, now he's refusing to do anything. I asked for an investigation and nothing. They stonewall me and they're continuing.
Why don't you handle it this way? You're an articulate fellow. You have a way of putting things down that people understand. Why don't you do a petition, submit it to us, and we'll just ask for people to sign this on the website. In other words, they can copy it down, do a little copy and paste, and shoot it right over to the governor. Let's make this easy.
Sounds good to me. I'll tell you what, if we can make this happen, get the people to put some pressure on the government and have them come to a decision to answer the questions, you got yourself a hell of a donor.
Well, Ray, hey, don't wait to win this thing to make a donation to the network. Because that may or may not happen within my lifetime or yours.
No.
But you understand.
They put such pressure on my wife that they killed her. I can't let that go, John.
I was not aware of that.
There's no way in hell that I'm going to let him off the hook.
I was not aware of that.
No. Well, that's my point. If enough of your audience, see, this is a peaceful way, a peaceful revolution. If they answer the question, it goes nationwide, and the whole house of cards comes tumbling down, because then the people are the sovereign, the creators of government, and it's acknowledged as such. We don't play this tyrannical game that's being going on now, and it's increasing.
Well, Ray, that's why you're hearing me. I'm not asking for the Second American Revolution here.
I am.
Well, no, I'm I'm asking for the restoration.
Well,
And that has a nicer sound to it. It's got a better quality feel to it. You know, just think of this country as an old dilapidated Model T that's in bad need of repair.
well,
We've done it once.
yeah.
We've already built it. It's been neglected. It's been left asunder, but it can be brought back. If enough people,
Be done peacefully.
yes, if enough people want it.
That's right. That's right.
Pray, like I said, tell you what, just do what I ask. Make up a petition. We'll post it on the website. People can cut and paste this or sign it. We'll figure out how to do it and get it over to the governor's office. Boy, this has got shades of Sam Kennedy written all over it.
Now we got a deal.
Okay, man. You're welcome, man. I'm not aware that this did his wife in. I am sorry, Ray. I truly am. Wives are hard to come by, and wives are hard to keep. And when you lose it because of stuff like this, yeah. Tyler and Ted